What? Oh, yeah, so, hang on. Go to that for speaker.
Are these all conditions for this?
I think these are what you printed.
Hey Pat, can you hear us okay?
From
To
select.
Oh,
You there, Pat?
this is, oh, goody.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect, thanks. The camera is acting wonky again, so we're on this camera. So, hi, everybody. I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Meeting for December 8th to order at 7:02 PM.
Yay.
Back to 7:02 PM, look at that. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes for November 10th, 2025. I know that Lorraine and Lisa got some edits.
Lisa and Miranda made corrections are right there in front if you want to double check it, but.
Oh, I don't, yeah. Did you do a reply all? Because I didn't see your change.
No, I just sent it to him.
Oh.
I find the new website a little
I just said the same thing to him.
times. And so the first time I just thought, I wasn't sure that I had everyone entered already so I could just say planning board. I was going to have to take everybody and I thought, I don't have time for this. So I just sent it to him.
Oh, all right.
I figured,
I just always like to see what changes you made. And
I know.
then I save that copy.
well, always just clarification or grammar. Usually it's clarification.
I had a problem too. I sent it to
Yeah.
him without the changes. I'm not sure what happened.
I think I'm getting better at the site, but how did we choose this particular, what is the format? Is this just a off-the-shelf kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a pretty standard back-end content management something. Okay, any other comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
Motion by Lisa, second by Lorraine, all in favor. Next item on the agenda is the public comment period. This is an opportunity for anyone from the public to bring up any topic about something that's not already on the agenda for this evening.
Pat Gillespie, Board of Trustees Liaison.
Hey, Pat.
Hey,
Yeah, okay. Too cold. Okay. Hearing no other comments, I will entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
I will move to close the public comment period.
Motion by Jack.
Second.
By Lisa, all in favor.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is to continue the public hearing for special permit number 2025-4907. Cardamom Home Builders are proposing to build a single-family home on lot number 16 located on the Rockcrest Lane. Tax parcel number 42.1-37.216. Portion of this parcel, is located within the unique natural area of Tompkins County, which would require a special permit according to Village Code Section 145-48B.
Scott has given you have in front of you the EAF Part 1 with the corrections that you requested.
Okay.
The addition of forest and aquatic on number 5, and I believe shoreline on number 14.
Right. Good.
Other than that, I said that I would speak with Brent Cross. I don't know, maybe some of you know, Brent will be retiring here soon, which good for him. He's been there a long time. He has asked me to help him stay on as our engineer.
Just for us?
I would love to have him here.
Very lovely.
I've mentioned it to Ronnie. I will sit down a little bit another time and talk with Ronnie a little bit more about it, but I'd love to have him here.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Brent stopped in today and I thanked him because I can't tell you how much help he's given me since I first got here. How much I've learned from that man. He is full of knowledge, that's for sure.
Mhm. And he really thinks of things that we just aren't
Yep.
capable of
Yep.
knowing we should be thinking about. And he has a lot of history here. I mean, I will say, so helpful for like our PDA that we went through and some of the issues that we couldn't have ever.
So he's gonna
Oh, that's
try
exciting.
to keep doing some things on his own for a little while until he moves out of the state. And as long as I'm here, I'd like to see him stick around.
I would second that.
But getting to that point, I spoke with him, as I had said I would the last meeting, about just the basic SWIP, and that would be having silt fence on the downhill side of the construction, before any dirt is being moved to help keep the land from eroding. I did put that as a condition in the special permit. And then Brent also agreed to have Scott Cardamone participate in 2 of the 18 green practices, which you have a
Right.
copy of, and that is also in the conditions of the special permit. As far as any other conditions you want, I gave you a list there. I didn't see that any of them were relevant to what we're talking about. It's not. That's kind of all I had. You got part 2 and part 3 in front of you.
Yep, so we did part 1 last time, obviously, that's why we had a couple changes for Scott
Right.
to make, so that's all done, but, yep, so like Mike said, we can do part 2, we can do the seeker, and then move on to the resolution after we close the public hearing, so, everybody does have a copy of the, part 2 of the short EAF in front of them, so I will read down it. If you have, any comments, let me know. So 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations, no or small? Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land, no or small? Will the proposed character impair the character or quality of the existing community, no or small? Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area, no or small? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway, no or small? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities, no or small? Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, no or small? Public-private wastewater treatment facilities, no or small? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historical, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources, no or small? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, e.g. wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora and fauna, no or small? Will the proposed action, can't even talk, will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems, no or small? Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No or small. So with that, everybody after that, I think, has a copy of the seeker in front of them, the seeker resolution, so. So this is the Village of Lansing Planning Board Resolution for seeker review of special permit number 2025-4907, adopted on December 8th, 2025. I read over what the matter involves, that's A. And then B, on November 10th, 2025 and December 8th, 2025, Village of Lansing Planning Board and performing the lead agency function for its independent and uncoordinated environmental review in accordance with Article 8 of the New York State Environmental Conservation Law, State Environmental Quality Review Act. 1, determined that proposed action provided for herein is an unlisted action in accordance with seeker. 2, thoroughly reviewed the short EAF and any other all documents prepared and submitted with respect to this proposed action and its environmental review. 3, completed its thorough analysis of the potential relevant areas of environmental concern to determine if the proposed action may have a significant adverse impact on the environment, including the criteria identified in 6 NYCRR section 6177C. And 4, completed the short EAF. And now, therefore, be it resolved as follows. We have 2 options. We can find a positive declaration or a negative declaration. I will entertain a motion to find the same negative declaration. Motion by. Don't everybody jump at once.
I'll jump. Guys.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Somebody, there's motion by Kevin, there we go.
Negative means it's okay.
It's weird, it's back.
It is, I was just, is that what?
Also, when they call it an uncoordinated review, it's like.
But I know it does take a moment to think, wait a minute, negative sounds bad, but it.
Not in this case, yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
that's why I was waiting so that could sink in, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because it is, no, it's kind of funny. Okay, I second that.
Second by Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Already closed.
Nope, we're doing that now. Yep. So with all that said, before we can move on to the resolution, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Motion by Lisa, second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
That's all right. I have you. Okay, and then next, everybody has in front of them the special permit resolution. So this is the Village of Lansing Planning Board Resolution for special permit number 2025-4907, adopted on December 8th, 2025. I did already read over what the matter involves, and also B and also C, other than I'll add in that we do have all the other things that we went over last time. We've got all the GML 239s and things like that.
Thing on there?
Yeah.
Let's do the part 3.
Don't I do that after we do this?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can do that now. Okay, yeah. So I will sign then the part.
Oh, I was going to ask you, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's easy.
now that we're here.
Done. Okay, again, Village of Lansing Planning Board hereby finds, subject to conditions and requirements, if any, set forth below and the provisions provided for in paragraph B above, that the proposed action meets one, all general conditions, I read over the general conditions. Sorry, skipped over the general conditions. Before we move on, I had it right in front of me too. I'll read over the general conditions. We do have to read over all of these before granting any special permit. So if you find that one of these isn't accurate, let me know. One, it will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare. Two, it will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the vicinity or neighborhood. Three, it will not impede the orderly development of the vicinity or neighborhood and is appropriate in appearance and in harmony with the existing or intended character of the vicinity or neighborhood. Four, the street system and off-street parking facilities can handle the expected traffic in a safe and efficient manner. Five, natural surface water drainage ways are not adversely affected. Six, water and sewage or waste disposal facilities are adequate. Seven, the general environmental quality of the proposal in terms of site planning, architectural design, and landscaping is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. Eight, lot area access, parking, and loading facilities are sufficient for the proposed use. Nine, the requested use or facility conforms in all other respects to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. And 10, the applicant has shown that steps will be taken where necessary to meet all performance standards and all other applicable general regulations. I will entertain a motion to say that these requirements have been met.
Motion to say all those requirements were met.
Motion by Kevin,
Second.
second by Lorraine, all in favor? Okay, now we can keep moving on with the resolution. So again, meets all general conditions required for all special permits, any applicable conditions required for certain special permit uses, and three, any applicable conditions required for uses within a confining district. So we can either approve or deny this. And as Mike mentioned, it's got the typical conditions on here. We did add the two about D&E choosing at least two of the green design practices and approval of a sediment erosion plan. So I will entertain a motion to grant the special permit.
I move that we grant special permit number 2025-4907.
Motion by Lisa,
Second.
second by Lorraine, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to continue the discussion of village code changes and corrections. So at the last meeting, we did get through, Lisa and I, the last chunk of the charter uses that her and I were responsible for. And there was also some questions that came out about some definitions. I know that we've been talking about definitions a lot, so the next thing that we do kind of want to do is at least go through the information. I know Natalie dug up some things about some of the specific definitions that we had last time. What you have in front of you is a list, a printout of all of the definitions that are in 14582, including language about some of the ones that Natalie found. So we can talk about those. We can go through and discuss them tonight. If there's, I think there were some specific ones that came up at the last meeting we can focus on, and then we can talk about next steps now that we've made it through all the chart. So there's a couple things I will, I know Lisa asked if we could get a printout of that kind of updated chart that I've been tracking. So we will do that so that you have at least a kind of hard copy in front of you that's color coded and not just colors, but also symbols so that you can have that as a reference. And then we will talk about next steps, what we want to do next, because even though the chart is accurate, unfortunately, we're not done with everything in there. So, I wanted to open up your email too, Natalie. Let me get that really quick, and we can focus on some of the definitions that you came up with after the last meeting.
Excellent job, by the way, now.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That took a lot of work.
Writing your dissertation.
Oh, do you remember which, oh, there we go. Was it just the ones at the,
So no, some of the,
Okay.
I just went through all of the
Okay.
definitions, and then throughout the discussions, I recall some comments about wanting to add certain definitions or things, so those are all.
those are the
at
ones that
end.
are at the end? So why don't we go and let's take a look at least at the ones that are at the end. That's on the last, I think, 2 pages. Or maybe it's more than 2 pages.
Some of them are dependent on, so
Yeah.
throughout the thing, you'll either say no change current, or current and then proposed. All the proposed
Okay.
ones are ones that I came up with to
Okay.
change it to, and then other definitions to think about adding.
Yep.
If we change the definition of
Right.
school, you'll then need to
Do this.
do daycare center and nursery school.
Grass.
Nursery school.
So the last 3
Yes, or
pages.
childcare facility in general.
Yeah. So these are, these ones here are the ones that kind of, came up about kind of really
do,
going in and
yeah.
changing a definition
Yeah.
versus, hey, what we have is mostly sufficient, maybe we want to make a tweak to it, but these were kind of bigger changes ones. So, that first one was a new definition of school. That was one
Yeah.
that we spent some time on and trying to differentiate between, right, there were a lot of questions, what about, if it's like an adult kind of education center versus and some of those things were captured in here, but, if people want to take a look at them.
So these are definitions that we think we should add to this part of you. Or,
There was, when we were going
Definitions
through,
were in going, some specifically in going through, we said, need a new definition for this, so I went and did it.
right,
Some just, while I was going through all the definitions, I was like, this could be improved based on
Yeah.
this definition.
so school was one of those ones, right? There was,
right.
right, when we talked about
Thought
a
it was-
place of education operated privately or by a public agency for the education of 7 or more students. And this is where
Oh, the
we kind of
seven-
broke into, well, define student, right? It's not really defined there, and that's there were some comments about, what if it is like an adult, education type center? Well, those are students that,
But then, as you said, if you adopt the new school definition,
Yep.
That wouldn't necessarily include daycare centers or nursery schools if they aren't attached to that school.
Right.
if we keep, well, wait a minute, and if we adopt the new one, now the new one is the pro, which does say this term includes daycare.
If it's ancillary to the school.
Right.
Oh, when accessory to the principal
Yeah.
students. Then we would need new different for daycare, so you can tell I did. But before now. Okay. This. Okay, so when we say, though, that it includes daycare facilities, nursery schools, kindergarten, preschool, nursery schools, childcare centers, daycare, and day camps.
When accessible to the principal use, so.
No, I'm talking about the current definition.
Oh, right.
It includes them already,
Mhm.
but we don't have a definition for them. Is that right? Yeah.
Right, I didn't, well, it might be in,
Was
I've checked
14582? I don't,
This is all 14582. Well, that's,
All
right, that's
145.82.
145.3.
yeah,
Yeah, but,
this is where I start
Yeah.
getting,
well, so we can peg down definitions, and then we can make sure that they are all in the right place.
well, that's
Yeah.
right, because we talked
and then
about.
I did, for the purpose of this exercise, copy and paste what 145.82 says at the beginning.
Yeah,
It is not to supplant definitions or additional conditions, just to suggest.
Yeah, they
So
are,
it's a
yeah,
little-
they're illustrated. That is the problem, is they're sort of,
But that's okay, and we,
But it's like
but we
uses.
even,
I think it's-
right, that we
I
even
think
went through
it's
that,
all
as we were
typical
talking about
uses,
things, we were
right.
like, well, we should, as we started listing off examples and something, it was, well, this isn't a complete list, this is,
I think it's totally called typical uses category of, because I went through that too and thought, okay, what are they actually called in our code? And those are called typical uses, not definitions.
For schools, what if you were to list it as New York State accredited schools?
New York,
Well, we have it as proposed definition.
is a place of instruction certified by the New York State Board of Regents, which is devoted primarily to academic instruction and offering a curriculum of study which is in sufficient compliance with the education laws of the state of New York. This term includes daycare facilities, nursery schools, kindergarten, and similar preschool or pre-grade programs when accessory to the principal school use.
here, I can share it too, so you can see, Jim, what it is, or Jim, sorry, Pat, that we're talking about. So under schools, there's the current one here, and then a potentially proposed one.
And we can always modify these are just
Right.
initial off.
But
the
it
bat.
does seem that probably we have to get involved with the state, because is it considered a school if it's not certified by the state?
For what, I mean,
For, I
depends
mean,
what you mean by
is that, what- I
school.
mean, is that what, I mean, it's
But
what,
if
it's
you
what
want
our
that to be
intent is.
included,
When we say a school, what do
Yeah.
we mean?
What do you want it to be?
Right, yeah.
A place of education is fine. Operated privately. And some of those probably aren't certified. Well,
the 7 or more students kept.
yeah,
that's-
that was
that's
the
interesting, yeah.
problem.
I
I'm
didn't
not
know why that was
understanding that one.
included.
I think that's the biggest sticking point on that.
But because it is odd, because then in looking at other definitions of daycare center or nursery school, to find one that I thought would be best, 7 or more is repeated a few times in different
So how did these things get
areas. I just don't know
started?
why people think.
To 3 or more individuals was the daycare center.
Yeah, that's, I thought we wanted to make it as small as possible. That's what I would recommend.
An activity providing for a program of daily care and supervision. Oh, and then the second choice is 7 or more minors.
Yeah, it's kind of.
So
And we, I want to go through these and have an initial
Yeah.
discussion tonight, but if we don't, if we can't settle on something tonight, that's fine too, for at least people to look
Certainly.
at, but I don't want to just
It's a lot to take
say,
in.
look at them, let's have a little chat about them at least.
So in terms of the difference between a daycare center and a nursery school,
Daycare center is.
care
generally
only,
accredited.
there's no, I think it's actually the reverse, maybe.
Daycare center is licensed, a
Oh,
nursery
this is
school,
licensed, is accredited, or social services law. What's that? So as I recall, the problem, okay, so when we got into that one thing where somebody wanted to do a daycare center, and we went through all of our steps, and then it turned out we really had no control or authority. It was totally a state setup, that we couldn't even get involved.
when we get involved.
We didn't have to issue a special permit, we didn't have to do, remember it was down on Burdick Hill Road,
The one next to my house,
I guess.
Yeah. which is no
You just
Robin's
had
Nest.
the one up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
But the thing is also, there's other things other than what the state ed requires. I mean, you've got buffering, you've got a bunch of other stuff, that would be beneficial to the applicant by having a special.
for some reason, we went through all the cases, I guess it was before you came then, was it?
You talked about the nest down there.
One over there, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was, it was Robin's Nest.
And then we had some conditions or stuff we thought, and then it was like, really, it was basically regulated by the state.
I mean, the planning board doesn't, in general, the planning board doesn't look at the floor plan and what has to be
Yeah.
done on floor plan. Like I said, you
None of
do
those.
with making sure that you have the tree law, sidewalks, buffering, all of the most.
So we would still have control of that.
Outside, where state ed is in control of, they have so many square feet per student they can have depending on the age range.
Okay.
So if
So
you don't want to get into the nitty gritty, I thought childcare facility was a nice catch-all definition.
So what is the Montessori school that's up off of Craft? What's that considered?
that's a school.
Is it a school?
It's, I mean, Montessori is,
What's the grade level? I mean, is it like?
They go through kindergarten,
It's
up
just-
to and including kindergarten, yeah. Stay
It's
used
not a
on that.
nursery school, right? Is it considered a nursery?
not exact, no. not really.
Sorry, I don't have any.
Well, it's, you
I mean,
know,
I would say that it falls under the current definition of school.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
3 or more, yeah, it does, probably.
You had 5. Because you had dark and stuff.
You want to see it?
Oh, right.
Burnt Hills on, so what you
They
have
label
left is
themselves as a day.
the new one down here in the Lama building, the Montessori school up here, and then the Vineyard Church has one.
What church?
The church.
23 Cinema Drive.
Oh, is
In the
the
small mall.
there? Oh, for some reason I thought that.
They still run one?
I thought they moved out of there for some reason. I thought I saw a sign somewhere else in town. Okay. They have it during the week of nursery school in there?
I don't know what their hours are, I just know they have it there. Now, not getting off topic here, but this Thursday, I have to meet someone from the state ed department down here at the Lama building.
Oh, to,
And he called me because he just got this area in within his districts, all his districts that he has to look at, so he has to inspect all of these. And he said it would be beneficial to meet with me because he could learn about codes, and I said, no, it'd be beneficial for me because I can find out.
Yeah.
He goes, well, then that ought to work out just fine. I may have some more
Okay.
information for you.
that's
Well, if
interesting.
there's certain questions you guys want me to ask him.
I noticed that they have pretty pictures on their.
On their fence, yeah, they, well, whatever. Childcare facility does sort of,
Yeah, it just kind of takes away all the
Right.
nitty
So
gritty.
you've got a school or you've got a child
Yeah.
facility, those are the two things. And I think that at least having that, right, it was the separation between, well, as we talked about, like, school, it's not what we meant in the code by school necessarily, like, there's a lot of things here that fall into that category that aren't necessarily there, so should we have a,
school
catch-all?
implies instruction to me. And, nursery schools, yes, they can be, and, ABCs and all that kind of stuff, but not
Yeah,
really. But there's not a curriculum.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
The idea of.
Childcare
school,
facility.
childcare facility. So then let's, take some time between now and the next meeting and, take a look over the definitions of that, of the proposed one that Natalie put in there for school. And then also, the concept, and she has an example there on the next page of childcare facility. And
So, but basically what, if we went with childcare facility, then we would say we take the proposed
Mhm.
and then just put childcare.
and then we would add a new use of childcare facility.
Yeah, we would need a new definition for,
And Natalie has an example there.
yeah.
And then there had been the ongoing question about adult
Right.
instruction or like a dance studio, which is taken care of by the definition of office studio or service.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this gets a little tricky. It's a domino effect here.
Oh, not to change, this is kind of going to a different topic, but the religious facility, you know how some of these churches in the summertime, they have like summer camp?
But I would say that the primary,
It's
or the principal
accessory.
use is, it's a church. The accessory use is,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's very key, is the
Mhm.
whole accessory thing.
same thing, like as a school that also, even, the school, if it has an attached daycare or something, right, we would still say, yeah, it's a school, even though the daycare might run more in there than the school does, if you do summer camps, but,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, there are some other ones back here, so she has a note here about kennels. I like that.
Well,
All
just because
involved.
someone
Someone at some
really
point,
cared about
yeah, there was
that.
clearly some effort put into kennels. Um,
And it did become a big issue in another village that I represent. People did not want them near their homes, so something to think about.
They don't want
Noisy.
to hear those dogs barking all.
They are noisy
Yeah.
at dinner time, I can tell you.
oh, sorry, I'll scroll down, Pat, so you can see.
Although, if you have enough space, it's not too bad. I never noticed it, actually, and I'm pretty sensitive to noise.
But yeah, early daycare. That's about,
I think,
not advocating.
Aren't your kennels
I'm-
usually,
our what?
aren't your kennels like they're usually in rural districts, aren't they?
Usually.
Usually,
Usually,
but
but not always.
But-
I mean, if you're in the city, they aren't, you know? There's nowhere to, yeah. Besides, we might not always be rural. You never know what you're traveling.
Or do you even want to allow a kennel? Maybe you don't want.
so let me ask you this, I was just thinking, for a bit there in the mall, they had a training. Where is
Yeah.
it?
ECA.
Do, it's.
Is that still there?
It's the
Okay.
Ithaca Dog Training Club,
Okay.
and it's at the other end.
Yeah, it is, yeah, but I'm just thinking, you
Oh,
know,
they do, they do.
they don't board them there, just bring your dog, do training, leave.
They've been in there for several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
The grooming place in the mall.
The people well, when I used to walk in the mall last winter, people that were coming in for the training would walk their dogs in the mall first before they'd take them in there. Or they'd be outside the mall walking them, so they'd go to the bathroom outside before they bring them in.
But that won't fall in here because they're
They're not
not, right,
harbored.
they're not harbored there, right, yeah.
Any premises including structures can wear.
So if we were to have, say, SPCA come to the village, then it would have to be within a commercial district.
Or wherever you want.
Well, wherever we say, yes, you can have a kennel, yeah.
What about Colonial? Do they have outdoor runs over there? Because I know they do boarding,
Outdoor what?
outdoor runs.
They have, you know,
I don't think
the
so.
building I worked in, it was right there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but
They have a bit of an area that's fenced in
Uh-huh.
between the building I was in on Graham Road and where they would sometimes in the winter take them out.
Oh,
yeah, but I also
But
would
they
say,
also walk them in the neighborhood.
yeah, their also principal use is not as a kennel, right? Right, yeah, sure, if you have to take your dog there and they have to
They're
stay
for
there.
care.
Right, yeah.
they do boarding, though. I mean,
really?
probably not a lot, but probably for their,
Well, maybe cat and dogs?
yeah, I mean, I know people that have boarded their dogs there, but you obviously have to be a client of theirs or whatever. They probably don't do too many, I would imagine.
It was never actually an issue. I mean, you never heard the noise and it was never smelly. And we were pretty close. I mean, they butted up.
Yeah, I'm not saying we need it. I just added it because
Right.
Because we
It
had
was-
it in there.
It was mentioned in a lot of
It was
places.
single and
Yeah.
two-family dwellings, both reference kennels.
Right, and we
Yes.
talked about removing it from there, so
Yeah.
if we remove it from there,
Do
do we
you
want to
care about it
introduce a
enough to
definition
introduce
somewhere? And then say where you can have it in the.
I'm not a dog owner, so I guess I feel no need for to have a kennel in our village, but I guess if you were to consider all the property over there, maybe it would be
Yeah,
an appropriate thing. Would we want it?
Yeah.
What did we decide? Special permit with conditions?
We're
Or-
over there.
oh, well,
The Fisher Farm, the Horowitz property over here.
But that then includes all of low density res, right?
Yeah. That's the problem,
Yeah,
yeah.
is you can't do it for just one spot.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's suitable, actually. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
If you do decide to have it, you could always have a minimum amount of acreage required to have it. You know, that way you're
Yeah,
yeah.
buffering somewhat.
Yeah,
In areas. for dogs
Definitely,
to be
especially for
outside.
that, because you'd have to offer.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so maybe we're going
Because what if somebody rented one of these empty storefronts, like say over at the Cuba Mall or even in the mall,
in the mall.
and turned it into a kennel? I mean,
no, that's not.
You'd
gonna-
want space
you-
for the
No,
dogs
you
to be
need to have,
outside.
it's wrong for the animals as well, yeah.
right, well, we know that, but
Well,
I
that's-
mean, could they do that?
So,
I don't know.
We wouldn't want them to.
An allowed use.
so it's,
Right,
not- I
yeah.
would say it's allowed, this is about an allowed use. where would we want it
And right now, it
I mean, but if you don't make it allowed anywhere except for where the best place would be low density. What if they wanted it over near the airport?
You know, with this definition number one, you could possibly be one of the pet stores that has,
Oh, yeah,
could definitely.
Say again?
a pet store.
Well, pets, no, you used to have pet stores in malls.
We have one, there used to be one in the Cape.
There used to be,
Mall.
yeah, there used to be one in the
I
cubicle.
used to go visit it to see the ferrets. They were,
Uh,
Oh, that's right, there was one there, wasn't
yeah, there was.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I used to just go watch the ferrets.
there? How long ago? Maybe I'm thinking.
No, a long time ago,
So I'm
because I
thinking of back
actually worked there
maybe.
part-time. I mean, it was a
Okay,
long.
must be thinking of one back
Must have
home.
been when I first moved here.
It was back in the
Years ago.
90s.
Yeah.
They were out of, the people that owned it were from Binghamton, and they had a place down in Binghamton.
That's the one that I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
because, yeah. Okay.
It's kind of.
I can't remember what the name of it was, so it was,
Ace was sort of
no, it was down further.
farther down.
It was down where, I think where Sumo is now, actually.
Except in this case,
Yeah.
in this case, if it was one of the pet stores, blah, 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 the pets, it says, and are not owned by the property owner, there, they would be owned by the property owner, if it was a pet store and you're selling.
Right, any premises including stores, kids, more than 40,
They're probably
and are
not.
not owned by the property owner.
Right, yeah.
or breeding, grooming.
Or I guess if you were leasing, property owner or
So,
less.
okay,
So, yeah.
so wait a minute. Now in Ace, they have a grooming
Yeah, they do.
corner.
Yeah, but you're not
Harboring.
harboring animals there, so yeah, that's fine.
Harboring.
You're not, yeah, I mean,
They're not staying,
Yeah.
I know, I just need it sounds.
harboring a fugitive.
I was so, sounds like, yeah.
I mean, it might not get used much, but you might want to have it as a use with special permit with conditions. And then in your conditions, have something that if it is, if you are allowing it in a residential area, that you need to have a certain amount of area. Because there are some parcels that are on East Shore that are probably large enough just fine to have a kennel if they really wanted one. And then if it's in the commercial area, like you have a pet store or
Actually-
whatnot, then, have some conditions to it. Might be a
Well,
little.
that's what I was saying
in there that
before.
might never get used, but at least it's covered.
Because yeah, there are places that I think with conditions, but, and I probably would think you wouldn't want it in any of the commercial areas, but you'd want it in maybe LDR.
Yeah.
Right along East Shore, some of those big places, is that's LDR, right, all of it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I could go for that.
Like with some kind of minimum,
Yeah.
acreage.
And noise control and all that, yeah, I mean, it is really all about defining and then enforcing, of course, but
well, again, think about it. We can go back over these and again,
okay.
next steps so the next 3 or 4, well, the rest of them all have to do with, sort of controlled substances, cannabis, things like that, so.
I didn't realize there was so many cannabis definitions. I was like.
Oh my God, it's big.
So I'm like,
It's a moment.
so which one falls under what the dispensaries in town? Like,
So is that's the
That would be the
controlled
cannabis
substance.
retail
The last
dispensary. So I had controlled substance dispensary, which would be inclusive of the cannabis dispensary, but also I put that in for the methadone dispensary, because I know that had been a general concern, I think, for people, where we would allow that or want that. But then the cannabis dispensary would just, you don't need both, I don't think, unless you want to include
I think when
methadone.
we, the Board of Trustees allowed a dispensary only
Yes.
here.
Yes,
And then in terms of what I think we were also talking about, though, is when we got to special care facility and stuff,
Yes.
that was kind of a different
Yeah.
thing, though. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
just talking about,
So controlled substance is different than the cannabis products and cannabis
Right.
dispensary.
so the cannabis products or the infused products, don't they, I've never been in one of these dispensaries, so I don't know. Don't they sell that stuff in the dispensaries?
Yeah, but since that term is used within the definition of cannabis dispensary, you should
define it,
define it.
yeah.
So we don't currently have a controlled substance dispensary
No,
or,
or cannabis,
Okay.
or a place for use of it.
correct. Outright, like, I don't know if that would be a clinic or how Mike would have to
Right.
shove a definition in there. If
Well,
he-
somehow we have to have, I believe, like with what we went through with the alcohol and drug.
Well, so then I added into.
Yep.
Hospital, under hospital, some possible new definitions for addiction centers and rehabilitation facilities.
As opposed to a special care facility, didn't want to include it under that.
That,
PQRS. We had assisted living, which it really isn't that, but special care is where.
I left special care about the same because then I added on.
Add in the term, does not include drug and alcohol treatment hospital or rehab center. Right. That's, okay, so you think it should go as under hospital?
No, these are just. new
No, these are,
definitions.
she just put it in that area.
Oh,
So we would
okay.
still have hospital, but then we would
Hospital
also
as
have,
is, but then possible new definitions.
Okay, so we have drug and alcohol treatment and rehabilitation, this for short-term primary inpatient care treatment. Persons recovering from illness or injury, does not, but not including drug and alcohol treatment centers.
Mhm.
Okay, so you were gonna keep them separate.
Yes.
Have we figured out what, these are gonna be allowed in?
No.
no, because it's a
Just cleaning
brand,
up the
because it's a brand new, yeah, it would be a brand new definition of use. So we'd have to figure
I
out
didn't know
where.
whether we already discussed that.
Yeah.
Where do we allow hospital? The only place we allow hospital is in high, commercial, and HHS. Well, I can see that maybe rehab, if it does not include drug and alcohol, would be sort of, I mean, we have physical therapy
Mhm.
in our CMT here, and CLT.
I would be hesitant to distinguish them zoning wise for discrimination based on illness.
Okay. So you'd say, we should keep it in the same as hospital?
I would not put rehab facility different from drug and alcohol treatment
Oh,
center.
okay.
What did you say, Natalie?
I wouldn't treat drug and alcohol treatment center or rehabilitation facility differently,
Where we district them,
lest there
allow
be a
them,
concern regarding discrimination based on basis of disease.
yes.
So if we would allow them the same
So they should
So you
be
might want different
additional.
conditions, but,
conditions or
Okay.
something else.
but you know,
Or we can leave everything under hospital, we don't have to add any definitions.
I think the one thing that was really, we were concerned about when we did the ADC, I mean, obviously, we did not have a proper definition, which created a problem.
Yeah.
But I think the main concern, and it's, a lot of it's education, and just getting used to it, but we really weren't interested in having it be a methadone, some sort of place where we were dispensing the drugs somehow, or there would be, I don't even know if methadone or those kinds of things were concerned so much as other controlled substance, because they weren't going to do anything except people get them through maybe aspirin stuff or, you know, Aleve and all that. The only drugs they were going to dispense was if they were diabetic or had a medical condition different from.
Insulin, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the main issue, because I don't think otherwise.
We did have another subject that was brought up, and that was, we were concerned that people would be walking in, walking out.
Yeah, that was the other thing is we,
Some type, you know, if they're gassed or whatever, they walk in, or they are allowed to leave freely.
Yeah, no,
Somebody comes.
that's right.
Up with that type of stuff.
And the other thing is we didn't want people arriving in the ambulance, OD'd and all that. So there was, but already things have changed in that regard because of Narcan. So it's kind of interesting how
Yeah.
fast, but, okay, so a disease is a disease, and we would treat them the same. Okay, that works, but we have to figure out which districts, yeah.
Yeah.
And do we want, I think we have to have some of this in terms of definition. I don't think, we know it doesn't work from what we went through before. We have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them, I know that we talked about, some sort of drug and alcohol treatment if we need rehabilitation in there too, but I think having them as separate definitions outside of hospital.
I think we
Yeah,
have
we
to
can treat
do
them the
it.
exact same in the districts, but yeah, I mean, for everybody's sake and Mike's sake, lest we go through something
my
similar to
God.
that again, and then it goes.
Yeah.
How
to-
many, I cannot tell you how many hours
I
he
read a
and
lot of
I
articles
spent.
about it.
He and I spent,
Yeah, but I think it would be good
and
to
we
have a
never
definition in
did
there
come
for
to
people. that,
agreement, did we?
If somebody wants to have one in the village, great, we have a
Yeah.
definition for it now, and it's.
Totally.
They can't go back and
Cleans it
say,
all
oh,
up.
and Lisa was lamenting about this for years and they did nothing about this.
Now, what's interesting, so I was looking it up, I came across, this was definitions that was part of our long-term care policy, and I thought, oh, look at that. And it was a long-term care, this is a hospital. Licensed as a hospital by the jurisdiction in which it's located, supervised by a staff of, provides nursing services 24-hour a day by or under the supervision of a registered nurse. Isn't that amazing? Operates primarily for the care and treatment of sick or injured persons as inpatients for a charge, has access to medical, diagnostic, and major surgical facilities.
That's
I
very
thought was very
comprehensive.
interesting.
We could use that.
We could make it, I suppose it does. This is medical, surgical, yep. I guess one of the things that this doesn't say is that there has to be staff of licensed physicians, which probably is important. I don't know.
Yeah. Can you circulate that?
Oh, sure. There's some elements of it.
Yeah, I think as we think about those things, they would fit into both of these definitions. I mean,
Yep.
if you go to the PT place, the people who are there giving physical therapy are licensed, or they're supposed to be licensed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I think that might be important because somebody could
Yeah.
And what was the language in there? Supervised by, it's not like
supervise, yeah, this,
by license, yeah. Yeah,
that provides
Under the
nursing
supervision.
services 24 hours a day under this, or by, or under the supervision of a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And then the licensed physician, supervised by a staff of licensed physicians. And that was one of the other things that came up over here too, is, what kind of
right.
medical
Mhm.
licensed folks were going to be in charge there.
Okay.
Okay.
That kind of brings us back to, back to controlled substance dispensary and then the cannabis definition.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the concern that it would just be that the EDC was just going to be a place to dispense methadone.
Yeah.
You could use the controlled substance dispensary to either permit that, or
Yes.
where do you want to permit it, if at all? Or add that as to the alcohol, drug, and treatment center, that it not be solely a controlled substance dispensary? That it needs additional purposes?
Using a marijuana dispensary.
Or we can put it as.
Yeah, and a methadone dispensary. Now, we currently don't have anything about this, do we?
No.
So somebody could come and get a variance or apply for a variance, presumably.
Likely would not get a use variance.
Yes.
Do we want to get into this? Do we
Or if
have-
you want to exclude it, you need a definition for what you're excluding.
Okay, so that sells or otherwise distributes drugs, food, goods, or materials that are listed as controlled substance. Oh, I hate to be biased, but I'm uncomfortable with it a little bit here. We're pretty small. I guess one of the things that I am concerned about is we often talk about the fact that we do not have enforcement here, except for Mike and Mike and Mike. And I'm just not sure that how this works for certain things. I mean, what do you do with that? There's an issue. Call the sheriff's department?
Someone's illegally operating a methadone clinic?
Well, yes. But I mean, if you have, the point, I guess I'm not being clear. If you have a dispensary for controlled substances and things get out of control, who enforces that?
Licensing. They're usually typically licensed
Yeah.
to distribute.
They have one down in Ithaca.
Are there problems with them just because?
Methadone clinics or the cannabis dispensaries?
Methadone.
Cannabis, I don't think
I don't know if
cannabis
there's a methadone clinic.
or just controlled substances,
Would they have?
federal controlled substances.
The controlled substances, wouldn't they have that, like, it's about the
Addictions and recovery services. Cars.
Oh, cars, that's cars.
Where's that?
Oh, cars?
Oh, State Street, yeah.
Is there a need for it out here?
Probably
We
not.
know that there's a need for helping people who
I
have
mean, it would
addiction,
seem,
but
just looking up methadone clinics in New York State, that there's approximately one per large city in upstate New York.
that's it.
I mean, I don't know how comprehensive this
Yeah,
find a methadone clinic website is, but
Yeah, it's on your list.
If you don't list it, then it's not allowed.
yeah, not allowed if it's not listed. So we don't have to dive into it. It's just things that I put in.
oh, I guess it doesn't.
There's one right down in it.
Well, again, we can think about that between now and the next one. And then the last one really is that last, on the last page, the cannabis retail dispensary. The other two things you said are kind of
Yeah, there's.
terms in that use.
So then I listed up some additional conditions that other municipalities have placed on cannabis dispensaries.
Signs,
Well, the one outside Dryden does have a drive-through, doesn't it?
Oh, does it?
think so.
Is it a drive-through?
They deliver too.
There's a delivery card.
Wait, do they have a drive-through?
I thought that they did. I thought that, because I go mountain biking. Oh, yeah, okay.
The one on 13? Oh, I'm gonna have to look the next time I go by.
Because I remember if you turn onto whatever the road is there before, there's either an entrance or exit that's like, I forget which one it is for the drive-through.
I'll have to take a better look when I go
our
by.
sign condition, we already don't allow flashing lights in our sign. But
Yeah, I don't think the ones down in Ithaca, because there's like multiple, I mean.
I don't think the ones down there do. The only, I know there's little ones, yeah, all
The
over
one
the place.
around Third Street,
Houses.
that's the newest one,
Okay.
next to the Third Street Plaza. It's not, well, they don't call it the Third Street.
what is the,
And then there's the one over on Fulton Street.
Are any of these just built into the law? Like, how, do you?
I think the 21
The 20
over is in the regs.
Okay, that's what I was curious about, but I don't know.
I mean, I could see somebody, I mean, there's a lot of empty space up here in these storefronts,
Yeah.
like, especially now that people are leaving the Trip Hammer Plaza, right?
Conditions, I mean, no one under 21, that's state law. We have to,
outside storage? Break in, people could break.
These are just from other.
Yeah, I
municipalities.
wonder how, what the thought process was.
Most
So,
people couldn't steal it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, so they're gonna have break-ins, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's true, it does not include an on-site cannabis consumption establishment, but we opted out, that's the
We
one we
opted
opted
out.
out of, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we didn't want cafe or things.
Right, yeah.
Coming in and, like a bar.
Yeah.
We'd rather our people just drink.
Cannabis cafe.
It's like something you want to do at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to do it in there and then get in your car and drive.
I know,
Not anymore, anyway. It's not like the old days.
but I'm interested in signs that have no
Yeah.
images.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's kind of a pretty plant, actually.
I think they can get a little.
I think they can get a little
Graphic.
distasteful.
Eccentric, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't,
and
we don't restrict your stores, not have signs.
Would you say, Lisa,
We're
images?
gonna have a sign. like-
images, that's what it says, signs for dispensaries can only have letters and numbers, no images, no flashing lights.
So,
Flashing lights, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I said, our
Also
signs
entice
already
children
prevent
more,
flashing
some of the
lights.
thought process behind
so
that.
from what I've seen, like the two down in Ithaca, the two newest ones, you wouldn't even know, like, that, like, it's
One
very
has a
tasteful.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really tasteful. Like, the one on Fulton Street, I never even knew what that was until somebody told me, oh, that's dispensary, because
One on Meadow Street has a picture of a
The
plant.
fire.
Yeah, it's pretty,
on Meadow, which one, where is it on
isn't
Meadow?
there one, it's across from the, isn't it?
Like the
So the
old
Ryan
Green
House.
Star.
Kind of across from Old Green Star, yeah.
No, that's Fulton Street.
Yeah, Fulton it is.
They just have their sign, but it doesn't, I mean, you wouldn't.
But it has an
I think
image,
there's a
though.
leaf on
It's a
there.
picture of a marijuana plant,
Oh, I guess,
which I think is kind of.
I have to, not knowing where this came from, I would imagine they're right. Those are all good examples, like I have, but there's a lot of cultural references that if you put it up there, it could
Be
be
very-
almost like a
The
distasteful,
fire
like
sign actually
inside
does
joke.
not have, a little graphic.
Yeah, but
That's
that's-
pretty
Yeah,
nice.
see,
I
that's,
think it's a
but
lovely
I
sign.
I would
actually.
imagine that's probably where that came from,
Signs
though,
like that here.
whatever
Yeah.
municipality or example it was from.
I mean, you wouldn't want lights, right, flashing.
Yeah,
No,
that you,
but
that you
I-
can't do up here anyway.
Like
But
the
our
one
sign
that's
law
down
already-
near, Ling Ling.
There's one down there too.
Oh, there's
All the
one
way to
down
the other end?
See, I didn't know there was one down there. I don't get down to that plaza much.
Oh, no,
Is it
wait.
really?
Oh, that one plaza, there's one there,
Yeah, there's one there.
Oh, I didn't,
near North Tripham, North.
north side, like.
Well, at any rate, additional conditions aside, definition, I mean, the
Any
village
commercial
adopted
other-
in it, it does allow this sort of thing here, and we don't have a definition of it, so,
Or where it's allowed.
or where it's
Or,
allowed, so we
okay.
should probably include
So where
that,
allowed.
in there, yeah. This one's nice too, that, the state did develop like a whole brand new licensing,
Yeah. they
like
do a
group,
lot
so
of
they're
that.
like, hey, here you go, so that one's easy for us to reference.
Yeah, I like how, Natalie, I like all your conditions. I mean, no flashing lights, it's already in our.
Taking care of any signs.
And the no one under 21, that's state law anyway.
What about the drive-through piece of it?
We don't like drive.
We don't
Wow.
drive.
I don't want to drive, no,
I knew somebody was gonna say that. How does the existing code address a drive-through at a high-traffic food and beverage versus a drive-through at a cannabis? Would we have to build that in there? Or is there
Food
something?
and beverage is the only one that allows
It's the
that.
only one that
Okay, so
allows
then
it. I took it out of
by
somewhere
rule,
else,
this
yeah.
one just would not, because it's not high-traffic food and beverage.
Yeah.
Well, I want a drive-through. Well, you're not high-traffic food and beverage, you're a cannabis retail dispensary.
You gotta have food with your,
with your
And
cannabis.
I wonder, there might be regs against that too. Who
I know,
knows?
here, you got.
We'll talk a lot of money.
They'll start selling brownies.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah, you might just, but there might be regulations against that too, like you can't go in and like, have a cheeseburger while you wait for your order to get
No,
ready.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Like I said, don't.
Be careful, I don't want a cannabis dispensary going in over here next to the Chipotle or something like that.
Nice sign.
Well, do.
Where else are you gonna put it?
They do.
Certainly don't want to take you to a rehab center.
Very good, yeah.
No.
Right, that's right.
Now, see, that is, yeah.
But honestly, you might want to put, that's almost like, the state has the 500-foot rule, we might want to,
I think
Either-
there is something.
okay.
And you don't want it close to the YMCA. That would be a,
What's wrong with that?
Get your,
because
Work
something
out.
makes it
Got more manageable.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking,
I
we're falling apart here.
all the kids over there.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a school.
Yeah,
Yeah, schools, I think there's stuff.
yeah, I have to imagine there's something in the.
Away from
So,
House of
but
Worship.
just
Okay,
thinking
so
about it though,
churches.
where would we want it?
Schools.
I would say keep it in the Trip Hammer corridor over in the plazas.
The high traffic.
CHT,
In your,
Yeah. CHG for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they have 500 foot of
How about-
schools, an example, 200
how about
feet of church.
HHS?
You could actually have an age.
I mean,
test.
Yeah.
It's pretty-
You know,
Great job.
as medical
Yeah, I
marijuana,
mean,
seriously,
yeah.
I mean,
Is that close to a school up there?
HHS?
Hard.
Yeah, it is. It's,
What is?
Well,
I mean, is there for DeWitt?
Oh, the
500
KU
feet from the
buildings.
school.
Heights.
DeWitt's right across.
They're the heights, yeah.
Yeah.
500
Well, that's what,
feet.
that's the state, right?
From the dispensary's entrance to the nearest property boundary line of the school ground,
Oh, how many,
That would be
how many
fine.
feet?
500.
That's all right then, I think. You'd have to measure it.
Yeah.
But
they can
that's all
figure it
right.
out. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
What about,
You've got the daycare center over there too.
I see
But
three.
just
I see
the
three.
Daycare center, you got BOCES right there.
daycare's too little, they're not interested, their parents might.
Depends on what their so right here, it depends on what their definition
No, I
of
mean-
school is.
I mean the 500, no, Lisa, I mean the 500 feet from those locations.
We're getting carried away. Okay,
So again, something else to keep, just keep in mind, again, we can talk about them at the next meeting and maybe try to nail these down. But what I do want to talk about is what we want to do next. So we've got, we've all gone through the current chart of usage, we've all read them, we've all made recommendations about where we think we should add stuff, remove stuff, keep stuff the way it is. I've got that here in a chart that I will, I'll send it electronically again, but also make sure it gets into a topic that Lisa's gonna bring up at the end here, packets.
yeah,
And then there's sort of, kind of the next thing that we want to do. So I would like to just, and it doesn't have to be a huge in-depth thing, but I would like to just go over that chart again. In case, well, this is just a chart, in case anybody has discrepancies about what we talked about versus what's identified on there. And then the other thing that we need to, well, a couple other things. One, we need to then make sure that the actual language in the code matches up with what the chart says, because the chart really is just a cheat sheet for what the code says, right?
Right.
So we need to make sure that the code language itself matches up with
so,
that. And then we also need to go down through all the definitions. And this one is a little tougher for me. I would love to divvy it up like we did last time, but if you divvy it up and you don't go through all the definitions, then you don't know, well, maybe something in, alteration, well, that's a bad one. Assisted living facility really references stuff further down than somebody else gets.
this part is gonna be really tricky, I think.
Yeah.
So we have, well, what are the sections? We have 145.3.
Yep.
We have 145.82.
Yep.
And then we have things like additional
Yes, that are throughout.
that trickles through, and sometimes it doesn't match. And then, so you go to each of the districts, and then you realize, wait a minute,
Yep.
it's allowed in the chart, but not here, or here and not on the chart.
So, yep.
And we have to really almost go page,
Oh, no, I think we do. So I think we need to pick a use and not just a use, but you need to start with the use in the code. Read through it, make sure it makes sense, make sure
and then
that,
go through each district.
make sure that what's in there in the district for that code is represented correctly on
Yes,
the
the
chart.
chart.
And then also make sure the things that use in code references are accurate, because they're not, right? When it says, oh, reference, 14582, whatever, 8 hospital, or 8, it's all numbered differently, obviously. Sometimes those things are wrong. There's breaks in the ordering where clearly an indent took and it shouldn't be in there. So yes, it is a little more, I don't know if it's harder, topic discussion wise about do we agree, disagree. It's harder paying attention to detail and making sure everything matches up.
So we have gone through this, and we've taken all these notes, and we have the, what Jim and Yamila came up with, and Mike, and you're gonna have taken all of those changes and put them on the
On the
spreadsheet.
chart.
But how are we gonna check that you got it? I think we need to.
We can do it. So the other thing we can do, and I already went back through and I looked at the notes, so Mike, remember,
'Cause that
for each
was-
section that we went through, when Yamila and Jim went first, what we did is they all talked, Mike captured what their proposed changes were and sent them out to all of us.
Right?
And so I've already gone through and made sure that those, but we can go back through, and again, we'll do
So
it
I
again.
think we just need to cross it. The other thing that I would like to see, so, and I did put this in a format, actually, so I could send that to you. The chart itself, we have changed it from putting the district into each line item in the
Yep.
definition to SP, SP plus,
plus.
X plus.
Yep.
And that's a little, that's the one, once we get it, I want to cross-check, because it isn't totally intuitive, but also I had some other thoughts about, we had allowed use with conditions, which is X plus, And then we say C-145-58, and then we have special permit required with general conditions. I was wondering whether, well, we should always reference, if there's conditions or something, the condition number. I mean, there's some other little minor things that I think were inconsistent, but I do have a format where I actually figured out how to divide it finally, so that it's LDR, and I don't know, I'd like to check it out. And then I had referenced, just for us, when we're going through this, the page number that each district is on in our.
Just for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
because that will change,
Yeah,
but as we're
yeah.
going through this, when we say, okay, I
Yeah,
want to
that's
go to LDR, you can quickly get to it, because that's kind of a drag too, because it's not bad, or my code.
Just make sure in the future, if we do change, let's say we change some other part of the code or whatnot, or you add something and all of a sudden the page.
The page numbers are just for us. We won't put them in the chart. Yeah.
Just while we're
For a quick
working.
reference for us, hey, everybody, yeah, we're on, clinic, that's
No,
on page.
no. In fact, I had originally done this thinking I had the current code, and I didn't have the October code, I had the June. And so
Right.
I had to change a few of these already, but these are now current, and I thought for our review purposes, it might be helpful, that's all.
Yep. So I feel like, just because the definitions, there's so much crossover between, oh, well, what's this, what's that, it goes here, no, it goes there. I feel like that is somehow more of a group activity, whereas reading through each use, we could divvy up again. You could go through and take a look at the same uses that you did before, read through them, make sure, do they match up here, yes, do they
That's all.
match up here, yes, do they match up, over in additional conditions, do those all match up, yes? Great, we can check that one off. I feel like that we can do individually or as.
Did you want to do that? Remember you and I talked about maybe going through it and doing it?
Yeah, it would be easier sometimes to say, okay, this is SP plus, and just have two. But that won't take long, once we send the spreadsheet, yeah. And
I didn't know if you still wanted, Lisa asked me if I would be.
no, because
Yeah, I mean, if
we're
somebody
sort
wants
of
to-
into detail stuff.
If somebody wants to
Her
volunteer.
and I are like, us, we're like,
I
What
think
do
that
you
would be
think, Kevin? You
great.
like that kind of stuff?
Came into this sort of midstream.
No, but I just mean, are you, we both like detail kind of stuff.
Probably, but that's exactly have all the context.
Well, what I'm proposing
Learning
is
opportunity, but we can't have three people.
Yeah.
to be sure, no, I'm just saying, maybe it should be included at some point. Just to be sure that we've translated everything into this newer format, that's all I got, because it is a little, I don't know. It's, every time I was thinking, is that right? Wait a
because
second.
I even said to Lisa, I said, we should go through all the minutes as well. I mean, and make sure everything.
Sure.
That's,
So make sure
since I don't have,
on the website, like, so I can.
Download them all.
Oh, or to go to.
I was putting in which meeting, see, I
know,
started which,
yeah.
and then I abandoned ship.
Yeah.
Well, I went in and looked,
Hours.
like, well, I didn't, they were only in, I thought it was, the last one in was October 28th, but maybe I'm mistaken.
It is the last one.
Oh.
Because we just
had the one in,
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, early
The days are
November.
going- That's right, the days are going by so fast, I mean, we're already in December. You're right, there would only be missing one meeting, but no, I liked that you did
Yeah, it was a
that.
lot.
And then I was like, and then I got on the village website and I was clicking on the minutes.
yeah, we had 3 meetings where we presented this stuff.
So do we want to then, so it's the holiday season, we're not going to meet again until January. The first meeting, and this is a topic I'll bring up later, the first meeting in January is the joint meeting with the trustees. So we're not going to be going over this there, or we're not going to be.
And Lisa's going to be out of commission.
And and then I'm not going to be around for a bit.
I'm just kind
I
of
need to
curious
slow down anyway, but
what order we want to tackle stuff in. We can
once
go,
we get this in, then we just gotta,
I
decide.
mean, we can go down and we can start, when we have time at meetings, working down through definitions and saying, does that make sense? Here's what we have, and we can use this one that Natalie gave us. And just say, yes, we like that, or
No, we don't.
no, we don't, let's edit it. We can do that as a group. Right, there's not so many definitions. I mean, some of them are gigantic, but I think that's a good group discussion to have.
One of the things is I just did my CE stuff. And I did bundle C from the New York Planning Federation, which was accessory dwelling units, and then got into short-term rental legislation and stuff. And one of the things I was wondering is, we haven't decided whether, we didn't have a definition for accessory dwelling units or any of that. Do we,
have,
do we have one?
yeah, it's under building.
It is, okay.
You'll see principal, accessory, everything else. And
So, and then short-term rentals, we haven't really called them
So
that.
that we,
But we could put that, I had noted, I think, in my thing here, that we had sort of thought of it was a vacation rentals. There was something in one of these where we thought Airbnb was mentioned, I think, or a bed and breakfast is mentioned, but we probably need to insert these kinds of things. Okay. So it was accessory dwellings units, then they had detached accessory, but we don't need to get into that. We don't, short-term rental, and that was it, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
So you're gonna put a new chart together,
I have it already, yeah.
and you're not gonna touch the actual wording of the districts yet.
Right.
No.
Nope.
So my suggestion would be to the second meeting of January is to go over definitions.
Start working down through them.
Yeah, it probably makes the most sense.
You could do it just like we did the-
Yeah, there's some suggestions, and I'll definitely read through them.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
well, it's, yeah.
I just, if I find like, well, I can't, I just had, what I mean, I've had to compare definitions. And
Yeah.
a lot of them are good, I've got a couple little small changes, but it was a great job.
Great,
Great
thank
job.
you.
Was there any particular municipality or anything that you feel like, because one of the things I thought, when I was listening to this, is the Lake George one was interesting, because they're much more touristy than we are, but
Yes,
this
they
was,
are.
but it was just interesting.
I took a lot from the town and village of Mainlands
Okay, that was the one you came that night,
and
yep.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, that was the other one, yep.
And then just no one else really, some here, some there, but
Well, I mean, we're just kind of an odd fish,
Yeah.
really. We really are. You know, you think, well, that's not quite right.
yeah.
I mean, we have,
Do you know much about the village of Manlius? I had looked up the population. I mean, I just saw on the news a couple weeks ago, they were saying that the village of Manlius is thriving in development. I mean, they've got stuff all over. Is it a wealthy?
yes, it is.
Yeah,
Very wealthy.
sort of, I guess,
Lived in-
wealthy suburbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great school district, very
Yeah.
wealthy.
Oh, okay.
But so, okay, yeah, so next meeting,
All
we
right.
have time theoretically, the second January meeting, we'll start working down through the definitions. In concert with that, when there is time, people who want to dive into the detail of,
I just want to be sure everything matches.
I know.
On our-
Oh, yeah,
Right, yeah.
on our chart.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an undertaking.
yep.
And then we have,
Send the chart out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When do you think you might do that?
The thing is-
So we can.
it's big, isn't it?
The chart?
Yeah. I mean, does it print on 8.5 by 11?
You can print on 8.5 by
Can
11.
you read it if it's
Yes.
printed on 8.5 by 11?
Sure. Yeah, maybe. I will make sure, no, I will make sure that it's readable.
Okay.
Because I know you said, if I have to print it off on,
I
I mean, I can
think I-
also put it on 11 by 17 and put it in the packets too, so.
Okay, well, I think I actually have some legal size paper, but,
Can you give us an idea when you might send it? And I'm only asking it because of the fact, I know Lisa's family is going to be coming for
Yes.
holidays and then.
Do you want to work on it before Christmas?
yes.
Okay, then I'll send it
Yeah,
out
I'm-
rather than later.
It's not like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have some time then in January too. I mean, I've some.
Yeah, no, I'll send
And
it
then
out.
even Lisa, after your recovery, you're just going to be laying
We
around.
haven't been born yet, right?
Yeah.
Zoom.
We'll be putting you right on Zoom on the week after
You'll
your.
see. Oh, I can't, I don't feel.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
So you aren't going to be able to lay still that long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're
No,
not supposed to lay still that long,
No, I know.
just
She's
to
not.
move.
no,
She'll be like itching to get out of
Yeah.
bed.
no, no,
No?
Sky either yet.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a plan. I'll have it out, I'll at least have it to you by next
So
Monday.
when are we going to present what we think for uses in certain districts to the Board of Trustees?
let's-
Because some of this, if they don't think it's a good idea, we should know.
So, let's wait until other business and we can discuss that.
Okay.
But yes, it's on my list of other business. Okay, next item on the, anything else on that from anyone? Thank you for all that.
Thank you, yes.
Next item on the agenda is the trustee reports.
Well,
Yeah, well,
there's,
I
oh, I got the November one.
can't believe.
Yeah, there's a November one still
Jim
from
has to do
Jim,
November.
because we didn't have our second meeting. So Jim's got a November one, then you've got a December one.
If I can find my notes.
Yeah.
So go for it, Jim.
All right. It was a long meeting, but not as long as Lisa's, but there's really not a lot to report. They updated the code of ethics and voted to approve the resolution to add the new code of ethics to the employee manual. They explained that the Beers came in to submit paperwork. It's owned by Beer, I think Beer LLC. They want to join the DMAP program, which honestly, I don't know what that is, but
Management.
Oh, your man. Oh, they
okay.
did it properly.
maybe I misheard it, but, so I just wrote it down the way I heard it. They hadn't previously asked, but submitted paperwork, and they approved the resolution to add 17 persons to the DMAP program. And there was a long discussion about how to disseminate a survey of village residents. But there's going to be more discussion on that, and they discussed about receiving grant monies and regarding a bridge and various issues regarding grant money. And Carolyn mentioned about a meeting she had with a Cornell professor of landscape architecture who she thought had some good ideas about the village parks. It was part of the Greenway. Kind of a disjointed report, but that's
Yeah, well,
what there
I'll
was.
continue it.
Okay.
Okay, so
So that's November 17th.
that's
I guess Lisa's doing December 1st.
December the 1st. It started out, actually, somebody from the public came, and as usual, if somebody from the public speaks, you can't understand them because of the acoustics and everything, but it had something to do with one of the Millcroft, I think it's one of the ponds had dried up, and they were upset. I guess it's ugly. It was
It was
maintained,
drained.
it was drained for maintenance, so that was explained, but I think, that's something we should be mindful of, that people have to understand, that they're drained for a reason, and that they are for a reason, and and not everything's about how pretty it looks. So, so that was brought up. Then, there was something about water and sewer overpayment, and they returned the overpayment, but they returned the overpayment, and then it says, well, only the penalty fees will
So,
be withheld.
Yeah. Payment was made late, and then a duplicate payment was made, and the user requested refund of the second check that was sent, but the check didn't include the penalty amount, so they withheld the penalty amounts and then returned the net
Yes.
of the overage.
Yes. So, again, when you come in this and you're only getting part of it, it's like, you don't really know what's going on. Okay, so then they discussed the comp plan. Apparently, there's an updated version that was sent on that very day. But they're also considering apparently the survey that went out, there's some additional survey that's been received, and they're continuing to send some surveys out. They just talked about updating the charts and the maps. Then, the new comp plan sent, oh, I had a question. Did we get a copy of the new comp plan? I didn't think so. Yeah, but there was nothing. Then it was the Climate Smart Committee and the Climate Smart and the CEC. They got, like you said, they were talking about the grants, what are we going to do with the grants? I don't think they really decided.
There's a survey.
Yeah, so they have a survey, stuff like pollinator gardens, bikes, educational outreach, trees, Greenway master plans. So I guess they're going to continue to work on that and figure it out. But one of the things that was suggested was a park master plan. And I think that was, they're going to end the survey input as of the end of January before the budgets are considered, so that they kind of know what direction to go with that. The Greenway Committee, I didn't quite understand this. The town of Lansing apparently got a grant for a trail around the ball field.
They got a quote for the trail around the ball
For
field, $500,000.
dollars.
Where is it?
Around the ball field in Lansing, the town.
Oh, they got a quote to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bid
but,
or along those lines.
okay, that's what it was, but it turns out we could do it.
So
Our people
Carolyn
can
was just
do it.
demonstrating that the village saves money because we do projects in-house while the town bids them out.
I see.
Yeah.
The town doesn't. Right, I mean.
The town doesn't do it in-house anymore,
Oh, okay.
allegedly.
So, one of the things that they're hoping to do is this, getting the students involved with this landscape person to get an existing and a connecting trail plan going, emphasizing connectivity. Then they talked about the fact that they're developing the job description for the deputy village clerk and treasurer, and adding a title, that title, I believe. They're discuss the advantages a little bit of doing that. And if they do change certain things, then they have to reply to the New York State for a new description of an exempt position versus a non-exempt position. So they passed a resolution to accept the current, I wrote current job description, which I guess is
The
exempt.
current definition that's being used by Tompkins County, which is currently an exempt position.
So they're gonna have to apply to the state. And they talked then about what the onboarding process, and Jody, I think, has sent the letter to us, and I know that you and I have sent some suggestions, and that, then in addition, this is to introduce newcomers to the board positions. Each chair would be responsible.
Yep.
So, there was some discussion about including trustees with some of the planning board training. And also the possibility, pardon me,
What training?
any kind of training.
Oh,
And then there was also some discussion about having cross-silo communication, basically almost a retreat, kind of feeling like having a meeting once a year, so where all the boards got together, not just the two of us, but also the BZA and maybe the DPW staff, just to get everybody going in the same direction. A joint meeting with all boards, and they talked about the thing that Carolyn brought up, that she has put out for consideration, the formation of a commercial area advisory committee, and she had it right up here. And there's some really good ideas in here, but as Ronnie pointed out, there's still a lot of work. You have to really think this through. It's easy to just set up a committee, but to be sure you get the right people. So he wanted some criteria established and some process behind it, which was very
and that
reasonable.
got sent out to everybody too, I think.
And, it's a good idea, though. We gotta
Yeah.
do
It was in
something.
the agenda. It was.
Okay, I remember reading it, okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a great idea. It's just, it has to be thought through and fleshed out. a little
Really
bit more.
thought through, and
So.
Right, you have to figure out who to get what from, and then if
Yeah.
you're gonna ask people for it, do something with it,
And then you got to be sure that,
yeah.
well, and
Do it.
sometimes having 20 people on a committee is.
Oh, yeah.
well, you.
Makes sense. It's smarter sometimes to have a smaller group of people that are
Yeah, the right people.
the right people, a smaller group of the right people. But I think, yeah, no, I agree. I'm really concerned. Actually, after watching the recording of the meeting, the last one, I was like really concerned, more concerned than I was when we talked about it, when we were doing the comp plan. Yeah,
Well, I mean, there's just some things here that I think once it gets a little more fleshed
Yeah,
out, we
fleshed
can
out.
give her some more ideas. But I think,
No, yeah.
if we have some thoughts on it, because, when it says meet annually, I'm thinking, no, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's got to be something more regular than that, and people make the commitment to it. But I think we have to sort of know what we want too. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that's driving me crazy is we've got parking here. We should be able to somehow broker that in some way. I mean, it's getting harder and harder downtown.
Mhm. We had this discussion the other day.
Yep. Okay, but that's not what they talked about either. Let's see what's next. Policy review, records management. I'm not understanding my stuff here. Then there was general discussion. There was really nothing else. Oh, they were talking about which trees to take. They were talking about a system for collecting info on the short-term rental properties. I guess the county.
The county has made their website
Because
live, but then the link didn't work.
But they said, let's be sure before we want to put it out on the website that you can now see where short-term rentals are, but we got to be sure it's working before we put it out there. So that was one of the
Governor saw me
things.
and Kevin smiling at the same time.
So that was sort of it. But you're right, it was a long meeting, 9:05.
Oh, okay. Okay, next item on the agenda is other business. Lorraine, or I can start on this side of the table, I feel like I have.
Were we going to talk about the joint meeting?
Yes, I have that under my other business, so yeah, let's,
So anything I have for that?
yeah, let's save that for, yeah.
So I don't have anything, but I do have a question. Actually, this will be for Mike. It's regarding the sidewalk law. I tried to find information on the sidewalk law, and I can't find anything. And I'm not exactly sure where all that information is.
Like ours?
Yeah, and
it's in the
I
code.
had Lisa like looking up stuff, and what I was looking for, I couldn't find. So my question is there something in the code for the sidewalk law regarding maintenance of sidewalks that are in front of residential area or even business areas that the village may not be taking care of, like it's not their jurisdiction to take care of? Or they're not assigned to take care of that? I mean, I know the village, they're taking care of mainly all the sidewalks and the trails and stuff, but a good example is the East Point sidewalk that runs along Bomax. I'm assuming that's East Point's responsibility to take care of that sidewalk?
I don't know for sure. I would have to check with John on
Okay,
that.
I've never seen the village maintain that sidewalk, just,
On the road, possible for the sidewalk, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know for sure.
okay, I've never seen, in my 6.5 years of living there, I've never seen the village maintain that sidewalk. So my question is, so I'm assuming East Point is responsible, and I'm nothing against our maintenance team. The guys are great. It's just that they're spread so thin that usually they'll plow that sidewalk once, and then once it starts snowing, they aren't gonna do anything with it. And I'm really noticing it this year because right now that sidewalk is like all ice. And
Oh, I'm sure.
people walk on that sidewalk. I mean, people are walking more than they've ever walked, right? And so many people walk that sidewalk with their dogs. People from down below in the other neighborhood walk that sidewalk. But my question is there anything in the code, is there a violation if the person that's responsible for caring for that sidewalk doesn't take care of it? Is there some sort of violation? Like, the city of Ithaca, you gotta like shovel out in front of your house, right? And I think,
It has something specific
Yeah.
about you're responsible for taking care of the sidewalk in front of you, and I'm sure they have a whole.
right.
Your first question may actually answer the second question, depending on who's responsible for it. I don't know of anyone else that's responsible for the sidewalks other than the village of Lansing.
Well, heck, if the village would take care of the East Point sidewalk, I would be like so happy. But because,
I'd have to
yeah, no, like I said, I've never seen the village maintain that sidewalk ever. East Point will plow the sidewalk with their small plow. But like I was looking today after it snowed last night, those guys didn't touch it. They're not throwing any salt on it. And so like I won't walk on it. I'm walking in the street because I'm not taking any chances of falling. It's just going to take one person to fall.
Yeah, I'll find out, because that's a good question for the whole village anyway.
It's something to think about because especially, I'm walking on all the other sidewalks in the village. It's taken great care. I mean, this winter, like the village trails are spotless. Like you wouldn't even know it snowed, the other day.
Yeah, do you want to wait until the next meeting, or do you want Mike to send it,
No, this wasn't for the joint meeting. This was.
No, I mean, do you want, oh, that's right, the next meeting is the joint meeting, yeah.
Yeah, I was just
whatever you find out,
curious
Mike,
if
let
there's
us
some
know.
sort of something in the code about a violation if they're not caring for the sidewalk.
Who maintains the one here on Oak Crest for the Lansing Meadows?
We do.
Oh.
See, I thought, but it isn't in the code. The only reference in the sidewalk and trails thing is all required sidewalks shall be maintained and constructed in accordance with current New York State DOT specs issued by the village superintendent of public works. But it doesn't, and blah, 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 it has to be strong enough to handle a fire truck or something. I thought that we have required sidewalks to be built by the developer, but then once it passed inspection, remember what that was a hang up down here, then we, as a village, took responsibility for it. And I always thought that the village, I was making the assumption that that one on Bomax.
That's
Maybe nobody ever
why
told
I'm assuming the village is responsible.
I think so, too.
Well, we'll let Michael.
Yeah, so, yeah,
That's it. Well, good. Well, thank you, because if they are, they've never maintained it in the 6.5 years it's been there. So, and the other thing is, you know, where our sidewalk ends, down where the Lansing trails start, I mean, they're not maintaining the little bits of sidewalk that they have down there at all, so. On either side of the road, because there's even a stretch of sidewalk on the, across,
Mhm. Okay.
that goes down
Yep.
to Norway or whatever.
Yep.
They're not doing anything with any of that.
Before I speak, let me just.
yeah, find out. But let us know, because
Yeah, let us know, because I'm curious. I mean, I'm not trying
I
to,
always thought we took them
Well, again,
responsibility,
let's
but
let
we'll
them-
see.
Yep.
hey, maybe the village will be, hey, I know two guys that would be really happy if they found out the village is going to be responsible for that sidewalk.
Anything else?
No, everything else I've got for the joint meetings.
Jim?
I don't have anything.
Kevin?
That I don't have to shovel my sidewalk. It's a lot of sidewalk around the corner.
I just drive around with my truck. I don't even, when it gets really deep, I'll snow blow it, but
I don't know.
I feel like it's builds character for the kids to tromp through the snow to get in the truck. Okay. Lisa?
Okay, I had mentioned this to Mike. I am finding that since we've stopped getting packets, that, and I know part of it is just I was used to, some of it I don't care about, it, you know, but there's something about knowing the packet is waiting for me, having it printed out for me, because I didn't print out this because my toner was down, and I just thought, I can't print 9 pages. And there's something about being able to notice it on my table, oh my God, I've got to do my packet. There's a different level of commitment I'm finding for me, and I'm not sure other people, I think, yeah, you acknowledge that there's
Yeah, so
something
I'm-
about that.
Yeah,
And I'm wondering if we could go back to getting, because then you have to print this stuff
He's gotta
out
print it
for
off
us
anyway, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's a matter of timing, whether we might be able to go back to getting it on Thursday or Friday rather than when we come here. And
it would be nice to still get some stuff electronically that you send out, and that's great. But yeah, I think, because there's some stuff that's just nice to have electronically, but,
well, I like having the agenda immediately,
yeah.
so
that's
that we
exactly-
know what's coming. Like, then I can say, oh, gosh, I better plan to have it.
I'm gonna need a chunk of Saturday to look
Yeah,
over this.
exactly,
yeah.
but other than that, and, you know, and there are things, but you know, if you start excluding them, then it's like, duh. Then you'd have to produce them for the meeting, anyway, like a secret or something. So I was just wondering if we could go back to paper packets.
Not a problem. I try to get the agendas out, you know, like on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, usually you do.
Usually try to do that, but then the rest of it, kind of waiting for some.
But then I was also, that the advantage, I think, too, about that is, there's a cutoff point, and we always know what happens with some of that stuff with these developers and other people, and it just will make it easier, I hope, for you too.
Sorry, the packets have already gone out, yeah.
Yep.
Now, if there is a last minute addition that Mike needs to give us for something that's more like internal to us, like, hey, Natalie
Well,
got that
no.
resolution, it wasn't there in time for the packet. we know
Natalie
we're
just
going
gave us
over
the
it.
definition.
Okay, sure, right, yeah.
And I thought I remembered, I probably am wrong, but in the days of the packets, the material was also available electronically, but it's nice to have the physical packet. I mean, I totally agree with the Lisa theory. When you see it sitting on your desk or table, yeah, I got to deal with
It's
this.
easier for me to pick up, right, if I'm sitting at the kitchen table
And I-
Sunday morning having coffee, knowing that I have this meeting the next day.
Yeah.
I can play Wordle on my phone, or I can drink my coffee and pick up the packet because it's there. I don't want to get my laptop, and yeah, just,
Oh,
yeah.
so it's not just me, huh?
Well, I mean, you know what? Like when Natalie sent the definitions, I'm like, oh, should I print this out? And I'm like, oh my God, it's like 10 pages.
It's not- yeah.
But something like that, I like to have a hard copy.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
It's just,
It's hard to
Especially when you're
read
going
it.
through
It's easier to really read it.
on your laptop, you've got it open, but you're also looking at other stuff electronically to match, to,
Well, doing both. I mean, you have the packet
Yeah.
for the
It is a
reasons,
lot of extra
for the
work.
reasons that we've all discussed, but also, particularly, with weather like this, you may want to stay home and read it on the screen.
yeah.
Like Mike said, he prints it off anyway, so there you go. You just have to remember to bring your packet with you, because we won't, print it out and that's
Maybe
that.
you'll have an assistant that can do all this copying for you. Yes, this is not the kind of stuff you should be wasting your time on, and that's my opinion.
I'll do all of this as long as we get next Columbus Day off.
We're gonna have to ask that, but we should, because actually I already put all the volunteer meetings on my calendar, and I'm like, oh my God, it's on Columbus Day again.
What?
One of our, yeah,
It's always
It's always on Columbus Day. No, it is, yeah, it always is. It's always gonna be.
It's duly noted, I'll make it happen.
Maybe we should put that on our joint meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Have
was
Columbus Day off.
Trustees don't meet on Monday or federal holidays.
they don't.
I don't know why we did.
Okay, next
Packet is something you print out and say it's here before.
He'll send an email out to say the packets are ready for pickup.
I usually send it out electronically, then I'll say packets are,
Are available in the vestibule.
Yeah, they're just right out there. in
They're
the
just out there,
vestibule,
so they're
you
always
know.
available.
And your,
Unless somebody lifts it, somebody might lift it.
and your name will be on the packet.
and just make sure you bring it with you, that's all.
Oh, yeah, make sure you bring your packet back.
And the envelope.
Yeah, the envelope. No, that's what I mean, the envelope. Mike likes,
Oh, right.
he collects them back and then he reuses them.
Okay.
What else?
That's it for me.
Okay. Anything from you,
Joint
Natalie?
meeting. No.
Dates you wanted to give us?
No, a couple things I'll probably go over with you a little bit later on, but I've been taking in-service training, which is giving you the updated code for next year, all the changes, well, many of the large changes. Some of the things on there, you've already heard rumors of, they were supposed to ban fossil fuels for all new, that's on hold right now until we get a court decision on what's going on. I cannot dare get into all of the energy code changes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Personally, I think it's a bit over the top, but whatever. That's kind of all I've been doing. I can't see, one thing I wanted to ask, I know you're gonna get into the dual meeting there, is what do you want to do if Chris Fiello comes in and says, hey, I'd like to present to you folks?
Like to what?
Like to
like, so when Chris is ready to present,
Yeah.
if he says, well, I'm ready to present at the first meeting in January, well, that's our joint meeting. Do we want him to come there for that, or do we want to?
Business on it?
Do you want no special permit or anything like that during that meeting? That's what I kind of need.
Oh, I see.
Or do you
Are we
want-
going to do only joint
I don't
meeting?
need to jump the gun for it.
No, that's fine, we can talk
Talking
about that
this,
first.
but I just-
So we chatted about it first, I gave my opinion, what's everybody else's opinion?
So that can bounce right into what you want to talk about.
I guess it depends on how long the agenda is already.
Good point.
I mean, fortunately, the meeting will start at 7 since we're hosting.
And we don't have the plan to go over, well, or maybe, right, maybe there's a new version of it out there, maybe they do want to talk about
I don't
that.
know, Pat, ask Pat. Pat's the one that's doing the editing on the comp plan.
I'm not sure when it's going to be done to
Yeah.
share, to the point to share. Hopefully, the goal was to get it done early January, I think. I got a little behind on things and then I still have some formatting I have to do, but I'm going to wait until all the other edits are done.
Oh, all right, so if you're not going to get it to the trustees until you said early January,
But it might be
I'm not
something
sure.
that, it might be
I
something.
think
that we'll-
we were hoping to have it ready to share by then.
Okay,
so our meeting's the 12th, so.
yeah. Okay.
So, well, there's some advantages to having the presentation for everyone, I suppose.
Yeah,
If it wouldn't be extraordinarily long, it depends on what else we think we want to.
So we'll have the agenda set by then, well before we know whether Chris is
Oh,
going to present
yeah.
at that meeting or not, okay, so we don't want to flat out say no unless there's really a lot that we're going to go over, because
Yeah, let's figure.
his topic
yeah.
might be a lot, also.
Yeah, I'd like to have some kind of answer when we leave, only because if, say, Chris calls me tomorrow, hey, I
Yeah.
can get stuff ready for early January, is that okay? And I'm like,
Why don't you give me a call first? So let's see when he's gonna be ready.
Okay.
See when he gets a hold of you, and then you can.
I'm not poking.
Don't bother him.
I'm not poking the bear, I mean.
I wouldn't.
But then, yeah, we'll see, maybe.
You know, an interesting thing came up on the one out of that bundle C. It was very interesting in Lake George. One of the things they talked about, they had some good ideas for things, like if there were two-story buildings that were not being used, especially like some of the buildings we have, to allow different zoning incentives to put residential on the top floor and mixed use on the bottom, or, you know, have a mixed use thing and allow some differences. But one of the things that was interesting too was they had identified some areas that were kind of run down. And so they kind of developed a plan that they thought, you know, their wish list kind of thing, literally a sort of a site plan it was. They have different resources, but it was interesting, so that when somebody came with, said to you and said, you know, we're looking at this, well, you know, here's some of the way we think we would like to see it, which was an interesting thought, I think, about how you tell them what your vision is before they even start too much, you know, and whether, but it was just an interesting kind of thing to think about, keep in the back of your mind, maybe as we go forward.
Okay, so we'll do that. But what I did want to talk about, obviously, is topics for the next joint meeting. That was one of the feedback items from the last one. So I would, in leading into, I think maybe Lisa, you brought it up, one of the things that I would like to do, obviously, is give them an update on where we are with the charter use, or the, you know, code review as it comes to uses. So I do want to give them an update on that. We can walk through the process we've been working on, let them know where we're at, if they want to talk about any, you know, things in specific, or if we want to, you know, kind of focus in. I know that they showed some interest before when we talked about creating some new uses, and so, like, you know,
So how do you want to do that? Do you want to present the chart with where we plan to add or make changes?
Yeah,
And then
I think
just
we'll present something graphically like that. I know they know the big chunk about BT, I might just hide that stuff entirely, but, and it might not just be like, you know, hey, here's the chart with all the colors and everything that we have on it, but maybe just a kind of prettier image of, you know, some of the high level things that we were talking about. Not capturing every single change, they'll get all that information anyway, but at least giving them an update on where we are with that. What else, though, do you want from the planning board to share with them, or would like them to share with us? I would like an update on the, even if it's not ready for, you know, 100% prime time, I would like an update on the comp plan since the last time that we met. I know they've put a bunch of, you know, effort and work into that, but what other things?
Well, one of the things so now we're having basically twice a year joint meetings,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I think it's none too many, or two, yeah. I have always thought that one of the things that, and now that it's budget time, actually, that when we go to the New York Planning Federation reason, it would be really great if a trustee would also come, I think.
The Planning Federation one?
Yeah, because, you know, I think that's one of the things, like, we don't know, even though we go as liaison, really, the high, you know, the hot topics are. And they obviously cross over.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And vice versa for going to the NICOM, actually. So that we kind of know what, I mean, we're not really, I just feel as though there's some disconnect there between our boards, kind of going our own direction.
Yes, definitely.
So let's discuss it, that's fine. Bring it up there.
I mean, that did sort of,
Board to board, yeah, yeah.
it did sort of come up at the trustee meeting this
Yeah, I
last
mean,
time.
I think you could use the welcome letter into a discussion of how to improve board relations.
Yeah.
Relations, yeah, so that we're working on the same stuff.
Yeah, or keep the other board in mind while working on your stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's the idea of our liaisons, really, but
Yeah.
it's, which is kind of, you know, was always, go to find out what is impacting what we're doing. Right. Really parallel playing at the moment.
So leading off of that, one of the things that I think we should talk about, and based off the last trustee meeting, was I strongly feel that the village staff, including everybody, I consider everybody's staff, that they incorporate into the budget for next year a one-day retreat and get.
I already wrote that down, by the
Really
way.
good
If you see me not writing something, it's there.
Oh, and get a really good facilitator. It'd have to be I know facilitators from Cornell, but you need to have somebody that is geared with this whole municipality thing and has knowledge of the planning boards, the trustees, how a village operates. Maybe we could contact the Village of Manlius to see if they know somebody. But honestly, everybody's working really hard in the village, but from my view, it doesn't look like people are working together. It looks like some people are working harder and doing a lot more than other people, but it seems like there's also a disconnect between the departments. No offense, Mike, I know you're working hard. But I just think that maybe a whole day retreat,
For the departments or all the boards too?
all the boards, everybody.
I think she means
the
every-
whole village staff.
We're not staff.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but
I think they do consider us staff, because
I know, well, because that was one of the changes I suggested in the letter, because legally we're not staff.
but I think when they refer to us, no, I mean everybody. I mean, the village staff and all three.
In all three boards.
That's a lot of people.
Well, it is, but I think it's needed. I really do, because I think there's sort of a disconnect.
Is there a way to, not that I'm trying to avoid it, but is there a way that things like that are done if it's like a,
I'd have to ask Nikon.
right, you're not talking about official
You're not
village
making
business,
business.
you're not making business decisions, it's
Yeah.
really like,
You're not gonna make any votes.
oh, no,
Oh,
right,
I
yeah, you're
see.
not gonna vote on
No,
it,
no,
right,
no.
because it's not really an open meeting, yeah.
No, I think
I just
that,
don't know, I mean.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I
it is,
think
yeah.
it's fine.
It would be like the
Personal
Yeah, I don't-
education.
I have to imagine
Meeting
it's
at
like
all.
if three of us ended up in the same,
CLE.
the same CLE
Yeah.
thing,
It's
you're,
the-
yeah.
it's development staff.
Yeah, it's a development activity.
If you could find out, that I would be
Yeah,
interested in that anyway.
I can't imagine.
I bet you there's grants for stuff like this.
What else?
Oh, so some of these other things I'd like to bring back up is the mall. I brought that up like a year ago now about maybe contacting whoever. I mean, the owners, the property manager, not the property, but the senior regional manager or whatever, to find out what they're doing over there. Like,
Yeah, I think Ronnie sent a note, I don't know.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think we can bring, because when I met with him, I think he sent something, I thought that I mentioned that at one point in the
I guess
meeting.
all
But,
of Well, not just that mall, but the other malls as well.
well, now it just
I
sold,
think
so
they're
it
a little
might be
bit
a
more.
good,
The other one is, yeah, because the Trip Hammer one just,
I mean, there's really. the
new
three.
ownership.
yeah, I'm more concerned about what's going on over here.
I wonder if somehow, along with, the project that Carolyn's kind of taking care of with the
Commercial
with the
thing.
commercial, I wonder if there's almost like like there was the concern about, hey, it's a lot of people. Okay, well, great. What if there's a smaller board? But if there, it would be interesting to me if there was like I don't want to call it a subcommittee, but I'm going to the mall, because between the three malls, they make up a big chunk of, if we could get somebody willing to participate from the three of those, they don't have to be on that core thing, but at least to have some sort of, yeah, we can bring it up again, though. Yeah, absolutely. And not just the one, all three, but obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should find out what is going on over there.
But it would be good, not with the new ownership, the other one, it would be a good time.
Right,
To get in touch with them, sort of just say welcome and hello.
Or maybe invite them to, I don't know, invite them to a trustee meeting, and we can always attend or whatever, and give a presentation on what their plans are, especially since they have businesses that are leaving over there.
Yeah, we can, like I said, I'll shoot this all over to Ronnie, and hopefully he has some ideas too, because I'd like to get them all to Mike compile, or Jody.
So the other thing is traffic control. So anyway, just so you guys know, one of the requests that I had and was bugging the DPW for 3 months was to put electronic radar signs on Bomax, and they were installed probably a month ago now. And I have noticed some improvement. People are slowing down when they see those things flashing at them, so I've been really happy about that. But there are many other problems. I know Kevin had mentioned he'd like to see signs by the crosswalk. I think that's something we should bring up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy them
The
myself.
crosswalk by Kevin's house that it goes from one sidewalk to the other because the sidewalk ends and then it starts. And the other thing is that the whole Norway Janiver, those stop signs make me crazy. People are running those stop signs. I see it every day. I've been crossing the street. I've been crossing the street and they're coming, they don't even care that I'm in the middle of the street and they're still going through the stop signs. I see the Cuba Medical van flying through there, the Guthrie van flying through there. I mean, I've seen some of the neighbors also not stopping, one in particular,
Almost got hit by one, and then
One in
I watched where they
particular lives-
and they pulled into their driveway.
Yeah, one in particular who lives in that neighborhood, who owns half of that neighborhood, flying through 4 stop signs. I mean, what kind of an example is that? Anyway, I think that whole area needs to be relooked at, in my opinion.
Well, on that topic too, one of the things that I'm really still concerned about is now that the Cayuga Mall is pretty full, the whole walking, there's stop signs, people run those all the time too, but it's getting pretty scary sometimes with the people walking from the parking area to all of the stores. I very seldom go to the far end, so it's only in that first beginning, 5 stores or so, but it's really, do we have any control over that, or?
People don't even stop for, I mean, I can't even say how many times.
I will say that what about the traffic light there, there's a lineup now because it's full. And when they're coming out, the intersection with it going down to Tops is directly across. That whole thing is just, that is ours though, right? Because it's state.
I think that's how it is ours.
I-
No, it's not.
I think it's state.
So I think the timing on that light has changed.
Has it?
I don't know, I was sitting there in the far left lane to make the turn onto Trip Hammer to go that way. And I was sitting there forever one day and I'm like, what the heck's going on? Why isn't the light changing?
Yeah, and it's really quick when it does.
Yeah, so they changed something. Something in the timing has
Well, I
changed.
was gonna say, I think we're gonna get into some jams with some of that whole area there now that, there's a price to be paid for having a full mall. And I'm just wondering who is responsible for that. And today, actually, when I went over there, I noticed that when I first, okay, so I came from south, turned left to go in there. And they're, speaking of holes and potholes, it's the very first entry where there's the little kind of boulevardy thing right by the mobile station. But that, it's like the center line of that entrance, it's like just shot. It's like a hole. It's a big, long thing. Check it out. I thought, oh my God, if I had gotten in there with my tire, I think it would really be a problem. I think there's a problem going on there. I don't know whether it's water is washing away. I didn't remember it being like that before. But it's just as you first go in, and it's like the center line.
Oh, really?
See what it is.
Well, I added that, we can talk it up, or I'll add to the agenda and.
Well, I want Mike,
said good
I
luck
want
about
Mike
getting
to
that.
see if.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
But the
aside from
traffic,
that.
it's more about how, it's all about traffic and traffic control and the lighting, the lights. I think it's,
Maybe it's time to look at
have another
this area.
study.
Well, so that's what, and maybe that's the outcome, maybe there is some study, there, or
traffic
maybe,
study.
again, maybe there's something with grants, or maybe with some other things that we can just, focus on a couple key areas and, look at traffic and, get designs. Kevin or Jim, anything that we haven't covered that you wanna?
No.
We'll leave time to make sure, because this is another one of the feedback items from the second, or will this be our second or our third? I forget. Is we'll make sure that we do have just like another, kind of like we're doing now, or like we do always here, just another business, so once around to, if something popped into your mind that you wanna bring up. We might not be able to cover it there, but at least it's something that we can, get on the radar to talk about, hopefully before the next joint meeting, but at least,
Yeah.
They're gonna bring things to tell us.
So I'm gonna send this list to Ronnie tomorrow, and then we'll see what he sends back for things from there, and things that they wanna share, things that they wanna know about that we're working on,
Nothing to do with that. Just wait a second.
Okay.
Adelita's still not open, right? Nothing.
They put their new sign, they took the temp sign down and put a real sign on. So, nothing.
So I saw on Facebook today, or maybe it was, no, it was on next door.
Not Facebook, was it Next Page or whatever it is?
Next door, and they,
Yeah, and we're
and,
asking, is it going, somebody said, oh, they have supply chain issues of
Yeah.
some sort, and I just didn't, I thought, all right, I gotta ask. No,
because the person said she contacted the company or whatever, she contacted their location up in Syracuse, and they said that they were having supply delivery issues.
anything more from you?
They have to get an operating permit from me before they go.
Okay, so you'll let us know.
I saw a tractor trailer pulled up to their entrance this afternoon when I was leaving Tops.
Supplies are here.
Look at that, you talk about supply chain, there it is.
And no sooner said than done. Okay.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:58 PM.
Move that we adjourn.
Motion by Lisa, second by Jim, all in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody. Have a,